Everybody, G Bear back. I gotta let you know, I've been moving around here and just having a whole bunch of fun before the wind started picking up again. But check out my other little swamp cooler here with my beer can and my solder sponge. Now what I did was I filled it with water, a can that is, but the sponge sticks up a little bit higher. You can see that a little bit higher than the sides of the can, and there's it's wet, it's damp, but it's the fan can rest right on top of it without being in the water. So I wanted to show you something. Let's go up here to the temperature right now, and there we are, 99 degrees and humidity low. And here we go, we're going to come down here and we'll take a reading off of this little beer can cooler. I got my light right down in the cooling area here. Well, we're only showing 94 drops. That's 5-degree drop. But underneath it, it drops down to 88, 87. So I'm pretty sure that as soon as that water cools off because of the air flowing over it, I'm going to drop the temperature on there. And here's my other one. It's been running. I've still got about a third of a bottle of water left. And it is now 5:19 on the clock. And this one is still putting out some nice cool air. And let's see what we got here. Oh, look at that. 60, 61, 60. I'm going to see, look through my camera here and see where I'm pointing. So around 62 degrees is what this is putting out, with a 99 degree ambient temperature out here. So I dropped the temperature with this little refrigeration unit. I dropped the temperature down 30 degrees, 39 degrees. Hey, that's pretty darn good. And here's something else. I figured that, hey, while I'm messing around, I got my fan, my back fan running off of that battery. My other battery needed charging, so I made an extra set of those prongs and put them in there, and I set that up here. So now I've got both batteries running on charge. I'll just put that capacitor on there just the heck of it. It kept falling off into the dirt. But here's one more thing I wanted to show you. I've been being bothered by some horse flies and some common house flies, and every now and then some of these desert ants, and I'm not sure that I can call them fire ants, but they sure sting when they bite you in the feet. So I made myself up some spray here to keep them away. And you can see it's kind of a pinkish color. And the reason for that is I use some of this Dawn dishwashing liquid. It's Thai Dragon Fruit Scent. And guess what? Stuff works fantastic. 1/4 cup or 3 tablespoons of Dawn dishwashing liquid. Fill the bottle up with water. Shake it around a little bit to dissolve it. You want to leave a little space in the neck there for when you do shake it, because you're going to foam up like crazy. But heck, a horsefly landed on my arm. I gave it a shot. Didn't have to worry about getting any poison on me because it's nothing more than dish soap. And the fly took off and flew about 3 feet and hit the ground. A little while later, I looked down and there was one of those little desert ants, fire ants, on my foot, and I felt the little bite and the sting. I sprayed him with a dash of this. He rolled over and his legs kicked up in the air 5 or 6 times, and he just stopped. It was all done. So this stuff is going to be with me from now on wherever I go. Heck, it kills just about everything that's pest out here, so why not have it handy? And you don't have to worry about the poisons, spraying this Raid stuff around. You don't want to get it on your pillows or anything like that. So you got to be careful with that. But a little soap, heck, what's that going to do? Give you a runny nose? Anyway, stuff works great. I'm glad I came up with that. I've been using Dawn for years to kill ants. Find a fire ant mound. I'll mix in some Dawn dishwashing liquid with a gallon of water. Wait until they're all in there when the heat of the day comes out and I know all the ants are hiding down in their burrow. And I'll pour that gallon of water down there. And that evening, no more ants coming out of that hole. So that's something to remember when you're out here in the desert or wherever else you go, where camping and you got ants. Bring your Dawn dishwashing liquid with you. It really is handy. There are a lot of other uses for Dawn dishwashing liquid. You can mix it in with cement and concrete, and it gives you a smoother flow of your cement and concrete when you're working with it. And it puts little bubbles in there, which actually helps strengthen it. It's more like a tiny aggregate. Although the bubbles aren't of consistent size, that is a little bit of a problem with a total tensile strength of the concrete when it's dry. But when you're out in the desert, you make do with what you can do. Anyway, those are a few tips for out here in the desert. As you can see, the wind calmed down a little bit. It's still blowing, just a little tiny gust coming out of the east. And I'm going to get ready to make up some dinner here pretty soon. I usually wait until the sun gets low in the sky. It gives me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to make dinner and eat before the sun sets. And I'm curious to see how many fireworks are going to go off tonight. There was a bunch over by the airport last night, but it wasn't a professional show. They only went up about every 15 or 20 minutes. So anyway, that's it. Gonna go back to ta-da!